I want to go ahead and address how the coronavirus is affecting landlords nationwide. If you own rental properties or you're a landlord and you're renting out houses, you need to understand what's happening. A lot of things I'm going to talk about are already affecting landlords. Some of these will affect us in the future if this does not get under control quickly. Now, my stance is still the exact same. I think people are panicking and I think that they're overreacting, even though I think what the government's doing and this national push to shut down things all across the country is an absolute necessity. I agree with this. And I think it's going to slow this down dramatically. I think here in a few months, in the middle of summer, you're going to see stories come on the news about how the coronavirus is now on the downslide, and you're seeing people get back to their normal lives. And then all this fear that's caused this panic and people pulling their money out of the stock market, you're going to see all the same people who still operate out of fear, but a different type of fear, which is fear of missing out. They're going to start throwing their money back in, and I think we're going to see a massive spring back. So I'm looking for huge opportunities right now, as I think you should be as well. Now, here are some things that you should really understand about what can happen to you and what is happening to you if you're a landlord right now. And I'm going to give you a couple things at the bottom, guys, that I think are opportunities to keep in the back of the mind as this plays out. So, first thing right now is actually affecting people all across the country. Less tenants are looking, see the decreased arrow going down, less tenants are looking for properties to move into right now for a number of reasons. The big one is they're in quarantine. People are staying home, self-quarantining themselves, and they're not out there looking for properties. This is the big one. And if they're not looking for properties and there's less people in the marketplace, that means the tenant pool is shrinking, which means you're less likely to get your property rented just with the same amount of inventory on the market as there was a few weeks ago. Now, if you can't get your property rented and it takes an extra month, what does that mean for you as a landlord? It means more cash out of your pocket from your disposable income or your operating capital in your business to cover the debt service, meaning you're gonna have to pay the mortgage. You're gonna have to pay all the expenses on the property while it's sitting there vacant. So vacancy loss is gonna go up here for a few months for people because it's gonna be harder to rent your properties. And this is a big concern for a lot of you guys, especially if you have a lot of properties. Can you imagine 20 properties sitting there that you can't get filled? So this is a real threat right now, guys. This is why one of the biggest things you need to understand is to not get leveraged right now. If you're looking to close on a couple extra properties right now, unless they're really good deals, I would kind of hold off on it, because if you're putting yourself in a leveraged position, meaning you don't have a lot of money sitting there on the sidelines in case something goes bad, you're putting yourself at a big risk. Because if you can't make the payments, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to get foreclosed on. Number two, what do you think is going to happen if this continues on? We're already seeing people stay at home. They're not able to go work. If businesses start to struggle, that means people are going to get laid off. People are going to lose their jobs. And if people have no jobs, do you think that they can pay the rent? So if you own 20, 30 rental houses and a lot of those people start losing their jobs, what do you think that's going to do to you? They're not going to be able to make the payment, which means you're going to have to make it as you have an extra expense evicting them, and you're going to have more vacancy loss, more expenses, more repair costs, trying to fix the property back up to get it nice to rent out again. And hopefully people are looking by this time, because if they're not, you're going to have the same problem that people are dealing with right now with number one. Number three, this is a scary one right now, access to money. A lot of people pay their bills, live their lifestyle with money sitting on the sideline behind them for protection measure in the stock market. They're living their life with their daily money from their jobs, but if things kind of get out of hand, they expect to go pull money out of the stock market, which is why a lot of deals are falling through. If you're a retail real estate agent right now, a lot of you are being affected by this because a lot of people are backing out of closings because they were going to take money out of the stock market to bring to their down payment, and they can no longer do this. So if they don't have that escape and that protection measure here because they just lost a bunch of money, this is going to increase the risk as a landlord. It's also going to increase the risk that people cannot go out there and put down payment money on a new property. And so I think a lot of people are going to hunker down and stay where they're at instead of looking for a new property and upgrading to nicer rental houses. Now, another thing is that money, that security there where people have in the stock market is now gone. So a lot of people are not is likely to lend money to you as far as friends and family members if you get behind and you need to borrow money, which is usually what happens to people when they get leverage in their business. They go ask friends and family. You're less likely to have an escape route. Also, what's going to happen if you can't access your credit lines because credit lines start getting pulled? All sorts of different things are happening. Access to money, because the volatility of the market is shrinking, which means you have less escapes, which means you're more likely to not be able to make the payments yourself if people stop paying you for the property. And this can snowball very, very quickly, as you can see. Lower rents. A lot of you guys are barely cash flowing right now. because taxes have gone up so much and faster than the rent rates can go up with them. And if you cannot rent the property, let's say you're trying to get $1,400 a month and that's market rent, but now you're just panicked because nobody's coming by the property, you're getting no showings, would you or would you not take $1,200 a month if you're trying to get $1,400, which would net cash flow you $400 a month? But now, just to avoid all these extra carrying costs, you're like, I don't care, I'm getting people in the house, I'm getting this operating, I'm getting cash flow coming in, would you take $1,200 right now? So you're gonna be hurting yourself if you take lower rent, but if you have to, you have to, right? So people are gonna start taking lower rent, which is gonna drop market rent potentially, and this is something that's gonna happen more so if this continues on the trend of what we're seeing, and we do see a recession start to kind of hit in. Now I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but there is a very good likelihood that it does, just because of all the potential jobs that we lose because people are having to stay home until this blows over. So we hopefully see this blow over quickly, because the longer it doesn't, the more likely it is that we see an actual major impact. But at the current rate of what we're seeing with the slowdown in China and other press releases around the world, hopefully we see this kind of blow over by summer. Now, the last thing that's happening right now is individuals are scared, right? And they're trying to get out of the properties. If you're a landlord, you know that you do not keep all your properties all the time. Sometimes you prune your portfolio, meaning you swell it up, you find out ones that you don't want or that are not performing well, and you try to sell those off. So if you're trying to sell properties right now, you know who's coming by your property. Very few people are out there actually wandering around the streets looking at properties to buy, and that is why you may have a harder time selling your property, or you're going to have to sell it for less. What if you just took 10 grand less because you wanted to get to that 40K in equity, that you're trying to get to 50K in equity, but 40K is okay right now because you want to go to a cash heavy position, and then in a month from now, 2 months from now, you see all these press releases saying that this is blowing over and that we're on the downside. So you could actually hurt yourself or sell property for less than you would, which is also what I want to talk about down here as far as helping you pick up better deals, because there is an opportunity in this right now as well. So you're seeing all these things kind of all start to come up all at once and potentially coming up in a higher rate type of fashion going forward. So it's just something to think about, guys. And the main thing would be keep some money on the sidelines. Don't play over leverage right now, because that's how people get hurt when the market turns. Now, on the positive side, you guys saw that the Fed dropped interest rates to just above zero. Now, not always, but a lot of times mortgage rates will drop because the banks will adjust as well. So what happens if mortgage rates drop and you have a bunch of properties at 4.25%, 4.75%, and you do have the money out of pocket right now to go do a refi? Why don't you refi all your properties? I know a lot of people are doing refinances right now because rates are already low for mortgage rates, the lowest they've been in forever. And so this is a huge opportunity, guys. If you can do it, run the numbers, see if it's financially responsible for you to do so, but you may want to refi your properties. And 2, credit cards. Usually one of the first things that happens when the Fed drops interest rates is credit card rates start dropping as well. So if you were owing X amount before, now you owe X amount less because you have a lower interest rate, your borrowing power is higher. It means your money is cheaper, which means that if you do have to float the cost on some of these properties up here on a credit card, and you do have to make some of the repair costs, for example, when they take property back, you're not going to be paying as much on the money. So it's going to kind of give you a little bit of breather room. Now that all varies and depends on how big the rate drops are. Also, if you guys have debt right now on these cards, my opinion is you should be trying to negotiate a payoff if you have some cash right now, and you may be able to get a forgiveness with some of these banks by approval only, obviously. But I would reach out to them and say, hey, if I pay this off right now, can I get a really good deal on this? And you might be able to save a lot of money here real quick. It's just something to think about. Now, better deals. When people panic, they make decisions not off business intelligence, math, data, logic, and reason. They do it out of fear and emotion, which is what you're seeing all around the planet right now. And a lot of people are sitting on properties that they bought in 2012, 2014, 2016, and they may cash out right now. And they're trying to go into a position where they have security because they saw their security in the stock market disappear. So they want to go to security in the bank account and to go to a cash heavy position. So they may panic and sell property to you for $20,000, $30,000 less than they would have just literally a month or two ago. I'd be out there being aggressive on the streets right now. And here's kind of my take on it. You have pessimistic people and you have optimistic people. Who is right? We don't know. I may be wrong. You may be right. Who knows? We'll only find out in hindsight when we look back on the situation 6 months, 12 months from now. But this is my take on it. If you're pessimistic and you're thinking the world is going to end and that this is the biggest deal ever, what happens if you're right? Okay, you're right. And then the world ends. and then you're right. And you can tell people that you were right. But if you were wrong and you shut down and retract your efforts and you make decisions, you're selling properties for less than you should, and you're panicking, you're doing all these things, you're going to hurt your business beyond belief, because if 2 to 3 months from now this blows over and you could have just hunkered down for a little bit, it's going to affect you dramatically. You're pulling time off your business, you're selling things for less, you're making irrational decisions. You can see how that can be a big problem. Now, if you're optimistic and things go right, just like we all thought, and this is gonna blow over in a few months, well, guess what? You continued on operating your business, you didn't let it affect you, and you did well. And if you're wrong and things do fall off the map and the world starts to go on a downward spiral, then you just adjust as it happens. The big problem is people adjust their lifestyle for an unexpected event that they don't know is going to happen. So if you're doing things in a negative way, think about what that's gonna do for you. So I say stay positive, act as if this is gonna blow over, because if it does, you didn't get hurt as bad as people who adjusted the other way. Long story short, people are gonna sell their properties for less, and if you're doing this, you could potentially hurt yourself. Guys, I would kind of stick it out a little bit here. And then the last thing is, there's like 6+ trillion, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's more than that. I heard $6 trillion or more pulled out of the stock market. Where do you think that money went? This could potentially go to you as these individuals are looking to find a safer investment. You see people like Grant Cardone on there making videos about how, hey guys, safest investment, cash flow real estate, put money in Grant Cardone's Cardone Capital, which is probably a good decision for a lot of people right now. So think about this, guys. All this money has to go somewhere. They know that they don't want to hold in cash forever. The banks' rates have dropped now, so there's no reason to really keep in the banks for people, which is why they do this in the first place. They're trying to spur the economy. So where are you gonna put your money? I'm picking up where I left off, guys. Bear with me, my battery died. It's been a long day so far. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna put your money in gold and silver. Where are you gonna put it, right? So these people are gonna be looking for a place to invest their money that's safe in a building, real estate they can touch. Now, I wouldn't be investing in commercial properties, guys, especially not commercial strips where the cash flow has a relationship to, can business owners pay their rent? Because what's gonna happen if we do go into recession, we're gonna see that it's gonna be a very negative thing to do. Put your money into a cash flow rental property that has to do with rental properties, someone paying their rent. Even though we're talking about this is hurting landlords, this is still the safest place to put your money, because your payment on your house payment and your payment on your rent is the first payment that people need to make, and is the most important payment that they make. So if they can make it, they're gonna pay this first, right? So people are gonna do everything they can to make their payments, but if they can't, you're gonna see carrying costs go up and risks go up. So guys, keep some money on the sidelines. I wouldn't get too over leveraged. This is the main thing you need to think about right here. I would say just be optimistic and let's see this blow over, hopefully. And other than that, guys, if you have questions or comments, put them in the comment box below, and I'll be glad to get to them. Other than that, guys, stay safe. I hope all is well with you and your family, and you guys are not being affected too much. I'll see you here in a couple days.